let's digress to some unfortunate news with Wilder. I think the first part came out, I think, on like Tuesday and before after, and that's the whole if Wilder saying if I fight Brazil, I want his son to look into the eyes of the man who will cripple his dad. And that's just, it's like the whole thing about putting out the idea of killing someone in the ring. Like, there's just no excuse for that. There just really isn't. There is a line in shit talking, and that is crossing the line. And I think Wilder, being a parent of a child with some handicaps, I think should be a little bit more understanding of how this was not the right thing to say. Clearly. And I hope he apologizes for it, to be honest, because that's just gross, to be honest. It really is. In a sport where we have people like Pritchard Colon and etc., David Franco, not David Franco, Daniel Franco, right? Daniel Twitch, yeah, Daniel Franco. You can't be saying this shit. You just can't. And I think if you want to be that big transcendental star, you want to model Muhammad Ali, you can't be saying this. You just can't, to be quite honest. And then that led into Dominic Breazeale. God, saying, I mean, he's right in clapping back, but we're going to get into it. And
Lord, I ask for your forgiveness. What I'm about to say should have never came out of my mouth. Wilder, you ain't shit. For one man to talk about another man's son and to talk about crippling a man in the ring, you ain't nothing, man. You got the heavyweight championship. That's about it. Outside of that, 2 wives, 3 girlfriends, 3 kids you know about, a disabled child, kids on the side. Your life is all fucked up. You want to come at me with some bullshit? Be a man. Step up. Get the paperwork done. Send the contract over. You and I, we can square this off in the ring, and you'll lose the only thing you've ever had good in your life. Send it over. My revenge is coming.
And even like that shit, I feel like it's just, I hate when, look, there's times where obviously like shit talking crosses a line and it works in some ways. Like Ali Frazier, I think, is the best sort of example of that, where obviously that crossed several lines. But in retrospect, I think that obviously led to this heightened event. I think we sort of looked past that. And to address quickly, I forget who said it in the chat. I think it was the Boxing Idiot who said, Tyson said far worse. Tyson has said far worse. But we say that. We know that Tyson's a awful human being, probably. Like, not probably. I mean, he says it. He's sexist. He's xenophobic. Like, we know that shit. With Wilder, I think he obviously does, I think, a lot of good. Like, what he has done for promoting people like Colin Kaepernick and sort of those social issues and social injustices and furthering that movement. I think he is awesome in that. I think he's done a great job. But then you have this. And then you have like the instances of him saying, I want to take a body. I remember asking him questions about this when I was in camp with them and discussing this. And, and the contradiction of when he says about speaking it, believing it, putting it out in the universe, and then it's going to happen. And then on the back of that, on the heels of saying that, then putting out into the universe, speaking it, believing it, that he's going to kill someone in the ring. It's just it's indefensible, to be quite honest. And again, Wilder, I'm a huge fan of you. I consider you a friend of the show, but these are just indefensible things to say. And I think this whole entire shit with you in Brazil has been not only disgusting, to use a word that you use about Joshua, this has been truly disgusting, but this has also been kind of corny, to be quite honest. Like, this is not how you guys should be talking. So, it is what it is. But keeping it on heavyweights and moving it a little bit past all this sort of crossing the line drama. Let's get to some network drama. Because Joshua on leaving Showtime for DAZN. Business is not about loyalty. Ooh. Damn. Wow. Rampage fans saying, "Come on, Matt, this is boxing." And look, let's all be on it. Honest, like we have like Tyson Fury, not Tyson Fury, Mike Tyson. We have convicted rapists. We have we have. Oh, let me go back to my screen very quickly before we actually address Showtime, DAZN, all that. We have all these instances, of course. We have Jake LaMotta, who's a wife beater. We have Floyd Mayweather, who's a wife beater. We have all these instances. We know that. We know a lot of scum of the earth are in boxing. And just in life, there's scum everywhere. We know that. But to just throw our hands up and be like, oh, well, it's boxing. We know we have people like this that think this way. Therefore, let's not talk about it. Therefore, let's not address it. No. And that's why I think I sort of said, like, Wilder, I'm still a fan. Like, what he is saying here is indefensible. But you can still be a fan of Wilder. Same with Fury. Like, I can still be a fan of him in the ring. I can not agree with him on probably anything politically, socially, morally. But in the ring, he's fun. In cutting a promo, he's fun. I admit that. Mayweather, one of, if not he is the best in the last 30 years, probably. I would argue that all the time. But he's a convicted domestic violence abuser. Just because, that's... How should I phrase it? It's... Just because there's a plethora of these instances in these combat sports industries and just the communities, doesn't mean we shouldn't address it in some capacity. And it doesn't mean we can't also separate the sports from the person. I think we can do that. We've done it already. We've done it with Floyd. 4.4, 4.6 million pay-per-view buys back-to-back. Not back-to-back. Yeah, there's the Birdo fight in between. That's right. But we can still talk about how he is a despicable human being. Greatest boxer in the last 30 years, but still a despicable human fucking being. And I think to lose sight on how there is that duality there and that how they're not mutually exclusive, I think is very important for us as a community and as fans, just to be honest. But digressing from all that, because that's really serious and that's a rabbit hole. And if you disagree with me, agree to disagree, to be quite honest. This is my stance. You're probably not going to say anything to make me go, oh, it's all right. It's... No. It's... If a person says awful shit, yeah, I may say he said something that's awful. Just because people say awful shit doesn't mean that we can't call out something that's awful. That just makes zero sense to me. Just because people will get concussions and have brain damage in boxing doesn't mean we shouldn't do stuff to curb it. Those concepts or those thoughts, I don't understand the logic behind it if you're out there thinking that, just being honest.